Hello there and welcome to another tutorial with Beads Jar. I'm Natalia and today's project is these lovely earrings where we are using crystals and pearls in a tiara twist technique, and here I am wearing them. So they're very easy to make, but they are absolutely beautiful and very three-dimensional. So let's have a look and see what it is that you're going to need to make this project. So we're going to make these crystal splay earrings today, and these are the materials that you're going to need. So we've got some 0.5 gauge wire here. So this is silver plated wire, and I've got 1 meter length of it. So you're going to use 1/2 meter for each earring. Then the main component of these are these faceted drop beads, and those are, they're called light green AB, but you'll see that they reflect so many of the different colors of the rainbow. There's a real fire about them, which is really beautiful. We're also using some lilac 8mm glass round pearl beads. We've got 2 of those. Then we're going to be using some acrylic round pearl beads, and those are in cream and they're 8mm. We've got some more acrylic beads in blue, so always like a dark teal color, and these are 6mm, so you're going to need 4 of those, 4 of each of those. You're going to need 4 of these metallic silver 4mm crystal bicones. You're also going to need 2 earring wires. I'm using sterling silver ones here, so use whatever metal that you prefer for your earrings. And then in terms of tools, I've got the nylon jaw pliers because we're doing a lot of wire twisting, and so the wire can get kinked up, so these are really, really useful. I'm using round nose pliers, the chain nose pliers, and some wire cutters. So those are the components that we're going to need for this project, and let's get started making our earrings. So the first component we're going to use is one of these faceted drop beads. They are so gorgeous. I'm just going to turn it and you can see all the different colors in there. So you could use this with any colored pearls that you like, but I thought the color combinations I was using here really reflect the ones that are in the bead itself. So we're going to take our wire and this has got a top drill hole. So I'm going to thread our wire onto this. I'm going to take the bead right to the center of the wire. I'm going to be using both ends of the wire, and then you're going to just hold the wire over your finger like that, and the point of the bead just pressing into your finger, and then take the bead, pinch it between your forefinger and your thumb, and then just start to twist. So gently twisting. I'm going to twist about 8 times. So you want this to be a fairly long piece of twisted wire, and so the measurement of that is about 4.5 centimeters, 4 or 5 centimeters. So then we've got 2 pieces of wire here, and the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to thread on one of my bicones, so this metallic silver bicone. So that goes on one end of the wire. And what we want to do is we want to do the same thing that we did here, and we want it to be slightly shorter than that. So I want my bead to be about there. So I'm going to pinch the 2 pieces of wire together underneath my bicone like that. And then I'm going to just twist again. I'm going to keep twisting until my wire reaches this point here where my twisted part is. And when you're twisting these, it might be worth having a little practice before you start making your earrings, because you want to get your twists right. You don't want them to be wonky. You want them to all have the same kind of tension so that they look really nice, because it's going to be very visible on the earrings. So then you're going to just push that together so you can see it's just meeting the point at which you can see the hole, the drill hole of the bead. And then I'm going to go to my left hand wire. So you're always twisting the wires so that they meet in the middle. So we've always got almost like these stalks coming off. So take my right hand wire, and I'm going to do the same thing on that side. And you're going to try and get this fairly even. So just pull my bead up a little bit, pinch my wires together like that. and start twisting. Now with 0.5 wire, if you're using 0.5, it's quite a sturdy gauge, so it's not prone to snapping. You're bending the wire quite a lot, so you need to be careful that you're not really turning it really tightly. I would not advise you to use pliers at all when you're doing this technique, because it will be much rougher on the wire. So 0.5 is a pretty good wire because it's not too thick, but also it has a certain sturdiness that will stop it from breaking. If you're using 0.4 wire, be very, very careful. And 0.2 wire, I wouldn't even go there. That's more like tiara kind of technique. So be careful if you're using those thinner wires. Okay, so we've got our two sides there. The next one that I'm going to do is a white or a cream coloured pearl. So I'm going to put that on there on the right hand side. And again, we want this to, always want that to be longer than the others. So I'm going to start twisting until I meet the centre. Just twist a little bit more. And then I'm going to use my right hand wire, oh, my left hand wire, sorry. Getting my left and right mixed up. So pulling that left hand wire down, pinching the wires together and then just twisting. So it's basically the same technique all the way through. That one's slightly longer. It doesn't really matter if you get it wrong like I did just there. So I'm going to pull those down and you can see we're starting to get this splay effect. So next I want another one of my crystals. And this one, I want to be just around here, this point. So if I pull that down, that is a good length for that one. And then twist. So as you can see, these you're not really employing your tools. The tools you're using are your fingers, and you just have to be very careful with trying to get these symmetrical. So I would advise you, once you've made one earring, to measure what you've done so that you can get both of them looking very equal. Unless, of course, you don't mind so much about symmetry. There we go. So that side is done. Push those down. And then we're going to go for our blue pearls, our acrylic pearl beads. And these ones I want to be at the front. So I want those shorter than the others. And I'm just doing everything by eye here. Push those down there. We can arrange everything when we get to the end. And then put my last blue bead on there. So again, I'm just measuring up against the other side that I've already wrapped. So I want it just about there. If that happens, just try and straighten your bead up so that you haven't got it going wonky down one side. And then just twisting. Just twist that a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to take those two wires. I'm just going to bring them upwards. So again, when you're working with wire, be gentle, because the wire needs tender loving care so that it doesn't end up breaking on you, because that wouldn't be great. But if it does, you can always wrap some more wire around. If it did break at this point, it's okay. That's the versatility of wire for you. So then I'm going to just maneuver my beads around and get them to how I want them to be, so that they're creating this sort of spray effect. And I want my little metallic bicones to be, everything to be symmetrical. So when I've got them to how I want them, I'm just going to take those two wires, I'm going to gently twist them a few times. So I'm twisting it about 5 or 6 times. I'm going to take the two wires together. I'm just going to cut off some excess because that's just getting in my way. And then we're going to bring our lavender glass pearl in there. You can see the lavender colour reflected in the AB coating on these drops, which is so beautiful. And I'm going to thread that on to the top. Then I'm going to bring my round nose pliers in and take my round nose pliers. I'm going along to about 3 centimeters in along the shank of the pliers. So turn my wire to a right angle, bend the wire back over the pliers. I'm just going to maneuver my plier upwards and then take this wire around the base of the loop that I just created and the top of the glass pearl like that. And you want those ends of the wire around the back like this. And then I'm going to take my flush cutters and very carefully cut those pieces of wire. The flush cutters are really good at getting right into the corners, but if you find that you haven't, then you can just take your chain nose pliers and just gently push those 2 pliers together. And what I want is I want my loop to look very round, so I'm just going to reposition it on the pliers. And I also want to turn it to the front so it's facing loop upwards. And then rearrange my little spray there. Okay, so now what I need to do is to attach my earring wire, and you could actually put a jumper ring in if you wanted to at this stage. It's entirely up to you. But to attach your earring wire, just open upwards the loop at the base of the earring wire and then pop that onto the base of your earring like that. And you do exactly the same thing to create the next earring. And there you have your little crystal splay earrings completed. So here are our 2 completed earrings, and you can see them side by side, how lovely they look. And you just follow the same process to create both of your earrings, and to keep them very symmetrical, just keep one alongside to make sure you've got the same kind of measurements when you're twisting all of the beads. So I hope you've enjoyed that project, and I hope that's inspired you to have a go yourself. So thank you for joining me today and for watching our tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you'll make your own earrings and that you'll add your own flavour to this design with different coloured beads and pearls. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and look in the show more section where you'll find links to all of the products that I've used today and all of our thousands of other jewellery making components. See you real soon, and bye for now.